Hey, midlife women. Have you forgotten what you're here to do? You've been so busy checking the things on your list, like your career, maybe your family, parents, caregiving, that somehow along the way, you have sort of forgot to commit to yourself. You're not on your own list. And if this is you, then hi, my name is Jen. I'm the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness. I'm a transformational midlife purpose coach. And what I do is really help women harness and commit to themselves again in this journey that sometimes we're coming to a space where life might be slowing a bit, or maybe it hasn't, but we know it needs to. And maybe once had this really firm sense of kind of where you were going and what you were meant to do here. And in the journey of life, it sort of got shaken up, right? Like remember playing Yahtzee, like the dice in the cup, right? It has a distinctive sign, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I think that's what midlife feels like. We got here and it's like all of the things happen in the cup and someone took it and shook it out. And we were like, wait a minute, this is all different than what it looked like when I started, right? So this is so true for many of us, right? In so many different ways that I want you to really take a minute to reflect on this. And what I do is really help women in midlife redefine and answer for themselves that question, like, is there more? Because you definitely should be answering a resounding hell yes. And if you're not, this is your call to action. This is your moment to lean in and go, oh, how did I get here? Because it's not uncommon that we'll land in a space and kind of go, wow, I've done so many things. And I forgot myself. I forgot myself on the list. And so this month I've been talking about commitment, committing to yourself in whatever way that looks like. And so we're going to really explore today this idea of committing to your gifts. And it has been one of my all-time favorite experiences to have with my psychotherapy clients over the years, or my coaching clients now, where we get to really define and hone their gifts. And so you might have a sense, I'm guessing in midlife, you kind of know. Maybe you're super organized, or you're so creative and you're great at selling things, or you have great entrepreneurial ideas and business ideas, like just left and right. You like just know it in your bones. It's something that you're meant to do. And you have maybe kind of not leaned into how that's shifted. And so to me, sometimes revisiting your gifts is a really powerful tool. So what I'm going to give you is two little tasks, and then, well, I shouldn't say little, that's so deceptive, but two tasks and a why. I want you to think about, as you age and have experience, you change. And so looking at up leveling your sense of your gifts, what are they? They've probably shifted a little bit. They've changed. And you can see a greater depth or sense that there's a persistent desire to step into a space of a gift of yours, whatever that is. Like I said, creativity, organization, it could be anything, right? Any component of your life that feels really good and juicy to you. Your desire to write, right? I might have someone listening, right, who here's like, I'm ready to write a book and I've never done it. I might have someone right now who's like, I have advocacy in my heart and I haven't done it yet. I'm going to tell you something. This is such a firm belief, and I could talk about this for 2 hours straight, which I will not do. You are not given gifts and a dream that you cannot live into. And so when I see women with lots of ideas and things in their hearts and they're not living into it yet, they're like, I just don't know. They've got doubt. They can't commit to themselves. And they certainly maybe have lost sight of some of the ways that they've really developed and evolved into their gifts, right? So don't take it for granted. What I'd really love to see you do is define your gifts. Okay, sit down and look at where you have talent in hobbies, side gigs, things that you don't always feel like you get to tap into, your relationships, right? And where do you have influence? I want you to really think about this word. Where do I have influence? Because I bet that you do. And so really start diving in with a little more depth. Give yourself the time to really okay, what are my gifts? What am I really magic at? What do I hear people say? And then 2, I want you to ask a friend. There is nothing more powerful. I'm going to say a friend, but I'm going to say you could probably ask many people. But I will tell you that one of the tricks of this is sometimes people really close to us have an inclination to my husband's pretty accurate. I'm going to say, I feel like my husband does a really nice job. But I know sometimes people, they feel like there's not an agenda, but it's a little bit more challenging for someone that's a direct partner or something like that to say what we want to know. But I think friends are really wonderful choices. I also think colleagues, people that in that realm, are really another nice avenue to kind of tap into. And what you want to do is ask them, what is it that you see in me? What is it that you notice about who I am and what I bring to the world? What is my sphere of influence? What is my zone of genius? Where do you see me really light up? Because those are spaces where you are absolutely living in your deepest and fullest alignment, right? Okay, why? Why do we do this? Because you are bringing awareness into using your gifts with intention, right? It's not like haphazard, like it's maybe like by accident we did something, right? It's like, no, this is actually so important. And what you're really doing is bringing full intention to delivering your gifts in the world in case you're not right now. And that's a question that I would have you ask. If these are my gifts, and then my friend goes in and my friend helps confirm, how are you delivering that? Are you delivering that? And if you're a space and you're like, you know what, boys, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being all the time and 1 is like never at all, and you're still in that really like below 5, I would say time to take a look at what's going on, because you have gifts and beautiful things to bring to the world, and you have to get out there and do it, right? So we just have to figure out the delivery method for you. And so we want to figure that out. Where are you at and why? But I think, to me, that I think your gifts are a vessel for delivering your purpose through passion. And so I think that's one of the things that gets kind of woken up. When we're really clear about our gifts and we kind of go out and we fire into that, that's the stuff that lights us up. So if someone's having a conversation with you incessantly about, for example, I know a lot of healers. And so let's just say I'm having a conversation with one of them, and their job is in accounting, but all they ever actually want to talk about is healing modalities or this experience they had with the drumming or whatever it is. I can think of a million things. You're like, this isn't really your, the counting is fine. It makes you money, but it's not really lighting your soul on fire. And what I'm hearing you say is that there's gifts that you have that the world needs. And sure, we need accountants. Do not get me wrong. My sister's one. She's brilliant. I'm not saying we don't need accountants, but what I'm also saying is that you might be in a space of being needed for something different. And do you have a gift that is getting underutilized because you've fallen into that same old career path, the journey, the business, been there, done that? Like, are you tapping into it? Because what I want you to think is passion and energy, right? Passion plus energy is creating purposeful legacy. So it's kind of like a, step-by-step ladder kind of scenario where we really want to tap into this awareness. We want to use it intentionally. We want to ask ourselves if we're not using our gifts intentionally somewhere. Is there something we're sort of missing? And we want to get on board. Like, how are we going to do this differently, right? And so I just want to invite you that as we close for today, I'm going to be asking you to think a lot about little pieces and nuggets of wisdom that I've gleaned through coaching, because they're so important. This is one of my very favorites. Ooh, because you are way more gifted and talented than you know. I'm going to tell you right now, people vastly underestimate how magical they are. So that's why it's my favorite job, to teach them how to see the greatness in themselves. But I want to just invite you to really lean into tapping into the gifts that you've got, and start by really getting in a space of going out, connecting with these people that will help you see it. And then I want you to get on board with reaching out to me and let me know. In the comments, define a couple gifts for me right now. So if you can, define a couple gifts for me. And if you're interested in getting on a call where we talk about what are your gifts, what gifts are getting missed. If you answer that question like, am I leaning into them very much, or am I missing the boat? It's time that we sit down and we get really intentional about you leaning into that space, because you're the only person in all of time that has your exact gifts. And so we really want to make sure that you are utilizing them as to the best of your capacity, right? Sometimes I know it can be challenging, but we can find and finagle really novel, great ways to get you to tap into that space. So I am surrounding you in healing light, love, and energy, and I am so excited to see you next time. Until then, this is Jen signing off, supporting you to revolutionize midlife on your terms and to help you rise on your path to purpose. Take care, everybody.